Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Double Handful here. What we've got coming up for you today is we're going to take a look back at the races myself and Monica previewed last weekend, the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby for the Colts. And we're also going to look at the final fillies race, the final fillies Group 1 of the road to the Kentucky Derby, the Ashlands Stakes at Keeneland. We're gonna sneak a preview of that race in. The race is actually tomorrow. We're recording this race on Thursday, the 6th. The race is actually on the 7th. So, without further ado, I best go and locate my co-host all the way from Sherman, Illinois, Monica McCarthy. Monica, are you there?
I'm here. How are you doing today?
Fantastic, Monica. Can I just say thank you very much for taking the time to review these shows and do a little bit more on the road to the Kentucky Derby. It's very much appreciated. Myself, yeah, I'm okay. Been a frustrating week of watching well-bred Coolmore horses get beat in classic trials. You know, so it is what it is this week, really. We've had one of them ran quite well, Never Ending Story ran quite well, but the rest of them, well, I don't see how any of them could turn up in a classic on what they've done so far. They all need to improve. All the ones I've seen, apart from that one, Never Ending Story. But Monica, it's been all going Illinois. It's even made the news here in the UK. So we need to turn you into a tornado expert for 4 or 5 minutes. How's it been at Sherman, Illinois? What's been happening?
Okay. Last Friday night, almost a week ago already, the storm, the big storm that was, contemplated, for 2 or 3 days previous, came into our area, and we did have several tornadoes touch down in the area, but there was one that did touch down in Sherman, where I'm living currently, and also a town probably, say 7 miles down the road also had a tornado touchdown there as well. And then in my hometown of Latham, Illinois, another tornado touchdown there as well. I don't know in my lifetime of a tornado touching down in Latham, but I was there to miss it, thankfully. But unfortunately, my brother had a car that was stored in the hardware store's other building, and it became smashed. So no need to take it to the place where they crush cars, because his is already crushed. It wasn't anything that he drove daily or anything like that. It was just some my brother, short note about my brother, he has several cars. So
he likes to collect cars, does he?
Yes, he does.
Oh, well, hopefully he will get to replace this one soon. I mean, was there a lot of damage done where you are in Sherman, Illinois? Is everybody okay? Is everything back to normal now? How is it now?
Everything's back to normal. There was some damage to the fire department on Business 55, which is old Route 66, the very legendary old 66, Route 66, that, you go from Chicago to LA. And but I didn't see many limbs down or anything at all, but they said there was damage according to the local NBC affiliate. So
and there was no casualties that you heard of, no one losing their lives or anything like that?
Absolutely not. None in the whole area or whole region I'm in. Nobody had any casualties. None.
That's fantastic.
Now there are still storms. There have been other storms ripping through the United States that have had casualties and whatnot, but not in our area. No.
That's lucky, and hopefully everybody in Illinois will stay safe moving forward. Right, Monica. What I'll do now briefly is I will play out the 2 races that we previewed last week, so the people that are watching this stream can watch the races. We'll watch the races ourselves. And we'll come back after that with the Miracles of Science, and we'll just give a quick thoughts on the races moving forward to the Kentucky Derby. So myself and Monica, we will be back soon. But for now, we're going to take a look at the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby, Group 1. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for supporting the channel. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Right, before myself and Monica give our views on the races that we previewed, the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby, I'm just going to give everybody a chance to view the races for themselves. We will start with the Arkansas Derby, which will be now.
And the last to load is Red Route 1. Post 10. They're in the gate. And they're off. A perfect start to the 87th Arkansas Derby. Toward the inside, Two Eagles River, as expected, heading toward the lead. Harlow Cap is with him on the inside in second. Airtime got out well in third. Reincarnate is fourth. Bourbon Bash on the inside fifth. And Rocket Can sits outside in sixth. He's only about 4 lengths off the lead as they head to the backstretch. And then comes Angel of Empire. He's off the rail by 1 path. Interlock Empire, the bright gray, is inside of him. King Russell is next to last. And that late-running Red Route 1, blinkers on and all, is still trailing the field here. He's a good 12 or 13 lengths off the lead as they move up the backstretch. Two Eagles River and Nick Juarez set the pace in the Arkansas Derby, and Reincarnate is his companion right to the outside. Harlow Cap on the inside is racing in third and is just a neck to the good of Airtime, followed to the outside by Rocket Can. He's going to be 4 wide into that turn, but he is in the clear and is only 3 lengths off the lead now. Bourbon Bash hugs the inside into that far turn. Angel of Empire is within range if he's good enough on the outside, and he is starting to move now. Angel of Empire is racing with Rocket Can toward the outside, and then comes King Russell and Interlock Empire. Dropping back and out of it is Bourbon Bash. Red Route 1 enters the stretch 10th and last as they straighten away in the upper stretch. And Angel of Empire has ranged into the lead here. Two Eagles River drops back on the inside. Toward the outside, King Russell is running on. Reincarnate in the second flight with Airtime and Rocket Can. Angel of Empire and Flavian Pratt. Angel of Empire wins the Arkansas Derby and wins it clear. King Russell was up for second. It was tight for third between Reincarnate and Rocket Can.
Yes, obviously we will give our views on the races shortly. This is just going to show you them, this section, and the next race we're going to take a look at is the Florida Derby.
Forte tosses his head around, settles in. And they're off in the Curlin Florida Derby. It was an excellent beginning for Forte. He'll be able to duck over some from his outside draw. Meanwhile, West Coast Cowboy firing through at the inside to take the early lead. Fort Bragg got over quickly, and he's on to take over now. Fort Bragg from the 10 post to the rail and on top a length and a half. Mr. Peaks is now second with West Coast Cowboy in third. Young Frau between horses. Mr. Ripple is next. Cyclone Mischief is stacked 4 wide, 5 wide, WNL. And that's a length and a half to Il Maricolo. Irad Ortiz Jr. and Forte. They're toward the back of the field while 3 wide. Shaq Diesel is next, then Nautical Star, and Mage is last of all as they complete the opening quarter in 23-2. Down the backstretch they go. Jockey Joel Rosario and Fort Bragg on top by 2.5. Mr. Peaks is second. Mr. Ripple is third. West Coast Cowboy is down toward the inside. Working out in the center is Cyclone Mischief. Then it's Young Frau. Forte starting to get a bit closer now. He's about 6 lengths off the speed through a 46 3/2 mile. Strong fractions being put up by Fort Bragg. He heads heads into the far turn on top by 2. Mr. Peaks is second. Mr. Ripple is third. Up on the outside, it's Forte. He's starting to get to work now. He's about 8 lengths off this loose leader with 5/16 remaining. Fort Bragg tries to sneak away. He has the lead by 2.5. Mr. Ripple, he's now second. Cyclone Mischief moves up on the outside third. Forte's locked in as Mage begins to roll from the back. They race past the quarter-mile pole in the Florida Derby, and Mage got the jump on Forte as he goes to get Fort Bragg. Cyclone Mischief is fighting hard. He's still right there. Less than a quarter mile to come, and Cyclone Mischief, he's up for a fight and tries to turn away Mage. Forte better hurry up. Final 16th of a mile. Forte starts to gather in the top horses. Here comes Forte. This is going to be very close, but the champion prevails. Forte wins over Mage. Mage was second. Third, Cyclone Mischief. Then Mr. Ripple, Fort Bragg for the high 5. He gave you a scare, but he got it done. On to Louisville for Forte.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, two very interesting races, I thought there. We'll just get Monica McCarthy all the way from Sherman, Illinois, back with us. Monica, welcome back. We'll talk first about the Arkansas Derby, I think. I mean, I thought this was a fairly conclusive race. I mean, if people look at the form of them entering into the race, there was one that had won a Group 2. I think it won the Risen Star Stakes, Angel of Empires, sorry. I can't remember what race it did win, but it did win a Group 2, either the Risen Star or the Rebel. And it took the step up to Group 1 glory, and I thought it won quite well. The rest of them, I don't think that there was any of them in there that took a necessarily step up, to figure in the Derby much. But the winner looks useful. He's won a Group 2 and a Group 1. And he must go there with some sort of a chance. I touched on his pedigree last time. He's from the family of Oxbow and Tisno. They both won the Classics. I mean, I also said at the time that if he turns out to be the next Tisno, I'll have to hold my hands up and say I was wrong because I've never been with the horse. But let's put it this way. I'm a lot less confident that he's not the next Tisno after watching that than I was before the race. I mean, I thought that was a good performance. What did you make of the race?
Yeah, Angel of Empire. He was the morning line favorite. He already had enough points, basically Derby points. He had 54 to get into the Derby. He did win the Smarty Jones at Oaklawn, so that kind of gave him a little bit more favored because of the fact that he's already raced there and won there. And then he also had won the Risen Star down at the fairgrounds in Louisiana, but he was in good company with Brad Cox. I think his trainers, really good trainer, and he was considered a win contender. But I did not pick that particular horse to win, but I thought he, did a decent job winning the race.
I'm always looking for something to improve in a trial. What's the point of picking a horse that's the best horse in the race in a trial? I mean, it's a Group 2. Trials are exactly what they are. You're looking for other horses to improve in trials. But in here, sadly, there just wasn't anything that at any stage looked like troubling the winner in the closing stages. I thought it won easily, and a good performance. What it beat on the day is another question. If we look back at the runners of that race in, say, a year's time, some of them, they might not have proved to be of the highest echelon of horse. But it could only beat them, it beat them fairly easily, I thought. The Florida Derby, we'll move on to that one now. What do you make of that one, Monica?
I made that one pretty much kind of what we had discussed pre-race about Forte. He was number 11 post. He had to, hustle up, and get a fairly decent position, which he did, mid-pack in that. I was really impressed with number 4, Mage or Madge. I heard the announcer pronounce the horse in both pronunciations. I'm going to go with Mage, because Madge is kind of like a nickname for a woman. So I'm going to go with pronouncing it Mage.
Okie dokie.
But I was really impressed with that horse. Had a really good run. Now, Mage did break bad. Totally had a bad break. You can see it, reviewing the race. It ended up being last in the pack. So it had that to clear out of its head and get, settled, because I had picked Mage and Fort Bragg to be a front runner, which Fort Bragg was the front runner. And with that bad break, Mage was not in typical space where it likes to run. But I thought it did a fairly decent job. By the time the quarter pole was coming around, it had started its run ahead of Forte and was dueling with Cyclone Mischief, and then overcame Cyclone Mischief, and then Forte started its run. Looked like a bunch of big long legs just coming down at mid stretch, and then Forte won by what do you think, Paul? Like a length and a half, 2 lengths maybe? I don't know if it was quite 2 lengths, but what did you think?
Well, yeah, pretty much like you, Monica. I thought that Forte won quite well. He was he took a bit of a stoking up. I don't necessarily think the ride he got was the best by the jockey on the day. I thought the ride was average, I'm going to say, because I thought he had the horse too far back, Monica. Yeah, I didn't think he was as handy as he should have been. But I do think that when the horse come into the straight, he picked up nicely, didn't he? And he reeled in Mage, we'll call her, and I thought at the end he was always getting on top quite well, to a certain extent. I do think that. I thought he was on top at the end, but I do think that he would have gotten a bit of a fright from that race. I think, and I think some of his followers might have not lost faith in him, but realised that he wasn't as bomb-proof as they thought he might have been when they watched him in the Fountain of Youth. I mean, we'll touch on the second quickly. You mentioned it. I mean, I did notice at the time, I did say it was from the family quite closely related to a couple of decent horses in a Fleet Alex and Vittori, and it had never raced in a pattern race, and it proved it was a pattern quality horse, and that's good to see. That's exactly the sort of horse I'd look for in a trial, you see. Something to put its best foot forward. But with Forte, with a month to go, I can't see how Forte could have been 100% for that race on Saturday, just gone. And they, what are they going to do? Maintain him at 100%? Or for a month and leave him sitting in his barn? Of course they're not. They can't do that with a 3-year-old colt, I don't think. So I think really Forte might have been on the upward slope, around 80% for that race. Hopefully, I'm hoping. And that race would have taken him on nicely up to 90, and then he's got another month or so to put the final 10% on him. And it wouldn't surprise me if you saw a totally different horse in the Kentucky Derby. I mean, I know it won, but it was a sort of performance that visually it was impossible to be as impressed with it as some of his other wins. And that's not ideally what people want to see with their own eyes before the Kentucky Derby, I don't think. But to me, what a horse. I mean, he got the jockey out of trouble there. I thought he was positioned awfully during the race. And he gave him plenty to do in the straight as well. Plenty to do he had, still. And the horse, despite carrying that 8-stone penalty round, Luis Saez managed to get his head in front, right on the line, and just go, you'll have to ride a lot worse than that for me to get beat. Let's just hope Luis Saez doesn't take that on as a challenge in the Kentucky Derby and break and drop him in last or something and try and pass the whole field or something like that. You want him nice and handy for the Derby. But yeah, he won like an odds-on favourite should. And the second round, well, I thought mine ran a poor race. I put up that red Route 1, didn't I, or whatever, and that was never got involved in the race at all. I mean, I was quite confident that they had it a lot closer here than they did when it flew home in the Rebel Stakes second. You know, I'd watched the Rebel Stakes winner won after Forte, didn't it? So I was expecting the form line of the second there has not worked out with mine there, and I don't think mine has done itself any favours there. I don't even think it finished in the first 5, so I don't even think it got 10 points or anything. Red Route 1. So disappointing for my selection, but always good to see the number 1 overall selection of a website you've made yourself win a Group 1 at 3. It makes you think that maybe you do know what you're talking about after all. But on the day, I'd have preferred mine to run a lot better than that. Red Route 1, I must admit. But yeah, an interesting race, Monica. So what we're going to do now, Monica, thank you very much for taking the time to preview these races, is by the miracles of science, we will be back later at some point, and we will be looking at the fillies race from Keeneland tomorrow, the Group 1 Ashlands Stakes. So for now, Monica, if you'd just like to say goodbye to everybody, and we will end this section here.
Okay, well, thanks again for having me, and goodbye all out there, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Right, we're going to crack on now because we haven't got much time left. It's actually Good Friday evening at 7:35, and we're actually going to preview a race. It's actually in less than 3 hours, which is either brave or foolish or both. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'd best get my co-host on the line, Monica McCarthy, to make sure she's there all the way from Sherman, Illinois. Monica, there she is. Are you there? Hello, Monica. How are you
here
today? How are you today, Monica?
I'm doing well. It's sun shining. The sun is shining.
Okay. All right. Let's pick some winners then. Well, a winner. We only need one, unless they dead heat. Right. The race we're going to take a look at today is a race we've been sort of forced into looking at, I think, because we've been trying. We did the 2 colts races last week, and we've just not had the opportunity to do any fillies races at all. And that's because really we both discussed it off camera, but what's it called? The races are just not the same level. You get a Group 1 for the colts and a Group 2 for the fillies. I mean, I've said to you off stream or off camera, whatever people want to call it before. You know, US racing hates fillies, and I can back that up, I think, with evidence. But what we've managed to find is a Group 1 race at Keeneland. Where is Keeneland, Monica?
Keeneland is in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
Just kind of down the road from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. We found a race. It's the last fillies Group 1 race of the campaign, the 100-point Ashlands Stakes over 1 mile and half a furlong, or 1,700 or 1,800 metres, or 1,700 metres, sorry, if people prefer that level of distance. Right, we're going to take a quick look through these, Monica, just this one race tonight, and then we'll stop the recording, and then we'll be back to give some selection. So, Monica, what do you make of the first of this race and the first horse in it?
Okay, number 1, first horse is Pride of the Nile. It's earned $600,000. It's had some good works here recently. It ran on March 23rd, a 5 furlong at 1 minute 0.60. It's trained by Doug O'Neill, and it is going to be ridden by Frankie Dettori, a very well-known Euro racer and English racer jockey. Paul and I were talking earlier about this is going to be his last year racing and possibly going to be retiring. Pride of the Nile is by Pioneer of the Nile, which is by Empire Maker. This horse is out of Any Mini. It's had 6 starts, 2 firsts, 2 seconds. One of the first, it ran on turf a couple times. It won on turf at a mile It's sold at Keeneland as a yearling for $140,000. The first dam, Any Minis by Hard Spun. It was a multiple graded stakes place horse. It earned $186,610. The second dam is just Any. It's a Kentucky bred. It didn't race any graded stakes races. It was just maiden special weight races it ran. But Any is by Seattle Slew, excuse me, out of Golden Petal by Mr. Prospector. So the top side of the pedigree is loaded. Third dam is the Golden Petal. Was born in 1981. She only ran maiden special weight races as well. Only earned just barely under $6,000. The fourth dam was Hatton's Rose. It was a Virginia bred. It ran allowance races, and it was by Buck Passer. So we got a few well-known sires in this line. Fifth dam was Game Matilda, a Virginia bred. Was foaled 4/14/1965. This mare was second in the Gazelle handicapped at Aqueduct, first in the Alabama Grade 1 Saratoga, and second in the Coaching Club American Oaks at Belmont. So it was considered Grade 1 placed in the Starlet Stakes as well. Multi-graded stakes place mare won almost $500,000. That's some pretty good.
A lot of money in them days, that was.
Yeah, this one's also bred by Stone Street Stables.
Yes, it is.
It's got 17 Derby points. It's morning lines
Points,
12 to 1.
Monica.
What are you thinking about this horse?
Oaks points. Got points in
What
the
do you
Oaks.
think about this?
It's got points in the Oaks, not the Derby, hasn't it?
Yes, points. Oaks points, yes. Not Derby
What
points.
do I think of it?
Thank you.
Like you said, the form of it's quite good. It is actually Group 1 placed as a 2-year-old. It's Group 3 placed on 2 starts ago, and on its first start at 3 as well. So they obviously rate the horse, like you said about the dam. The 5th dam is the key horse, Game Matilda. That's the key one. That's the one I managed to find. She is family 1N, this filly, and Game Matilda was where I managed to jump on the line. Yeah, nearly £500,000 prize money. There's not a lot really on this dam line though in the last 50 or 60 years. I could find a 1965 UK St Ledger winner called Provoke, but that's a 1.6 miles, St Ledger. So you'd be expecting it to be running on at the end, you would think, or outpaced, one or the other. And you would. I was just a bit gutted it weren't a bit better bred really than what it was on the dam side. I was hoping to find some better horses in the last 50 years than what I could find. Like you said, the couple of dams were good, but they're not really bred anything that's any good. This is probably one of the best ones, I think. But she pops up again anyway. I don't know if you noticed it earlier as well, but she pops up again later. This dam does, and another of the horses. So she definitely does as well. So it's an interesting horse. I do think it's an interesting horse, this one. But like you said, in Stoner Street Stables, and I think we've got a proper Stoner Street Stables horse coming up later from the same dam line, you see. So that's why I'm going to pass on this one, Monica, without any shadow of a doubt. The second one, Wonder Wheel. She's a good filly who brings good form to the table. I'm sure you'll agree. A dual Group 1 winner at 2, including the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So no one can accuse us of looking at the wrong races, because we've done both Breeders' Cup winners here at 3. We did Forte in the last one, and we're doing a Wonder Wheel today. However, Wonder Wheel to me has always been a funny horse, and I'm going to show people why in a minute. And I also did note that she has had a run this year in a listed race and been beaten. That would worry me. That would worry me when Group 1 winners at 2 start getting beaten in listed races at 3. I'll be thinking, is this horse as good as what it was last year? But obviously this race will tell us a lot more about that. I'm just going to have to put the old website back on the screen at the minute because Wonder Wheel is an interesting horse because it's quite hard to trace. People will see on here that it is family 12B. And the site I use for that, 12B, has got about 20 horses on it. One of them, the first one is in 1754, and the last one was foaled in 1816. So we're going back nearly 200 years before we can find anything here. This site calls it a deep-rooted anomaly, because there's a couple of horses that have been identified by modern-day people on this line. The 5th dam of Lady Grey and the 5th dam of Maid of the Oaks. And it said, these people, this woman who makes this site, they're just not having it. They put these 2 horses as being unofficially appended to Diana's American Produce in the modern era. However, MT DNA typing to date does not support matrilineal connection. They're just not having it to either of them or to each other. Saying that the 2 horses that they put on this line to link it to the modern day aren't even related to each other. But obviously, this site is quite old, and modern day technology might have linked them better. But I always use this site as gospel. So for me, I've always passed on Wonder Wheel because I can't find anything linking the horse earlier than 1816 on the site I use to identify horses. So it was always going to be a tricky one for me, this one. It sank no end of mine in the Breeders' Cup last year. It did sink a few. I'm always pleased when horses win, obviously, but it's one that I've got. It's a horse I've got no handle on at all whatsoever. It's a dangerous horse. So I've just left it at that, and hopefully, for me anyway, that I might find one to beat it eventually, Monica. That's the trouble I'm having with Wonder Wheel. It brings a very, very strong level of form to the table. What do you make of the horse? How's it been working out? I mean, what do you think of my point where I say I don't think it's as good as what it was last year? What do you think?
Right. I'm kind of in that same boat with you because the fact that I'm kind of leery about Wonder Wheel because the fact that maybe she peaked early. Maybe not. I think this race will tell us something about her, how she ends up. I mean, she's working out. She's had some bullet works. She's earned a lot of money. And her 2-year-old last year, she's got. You talked about the pedigree. Like I said, she had a big second 2-year-old career. I'm just a little bit leery of what she can do at this juncture. And like you said, the first debut or the debut for this year, she was second. Is that what you were?
Yeah, in a listed race.
Saying? Yeah, her first race she did not win, so I got a big question mark with her, basically, to see what happens in this particular race.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. This race will obviously tell us a lot more. She reminds me a bit of Echo Zulu. The Echo Zulu weren't the same horse at 3 as she was at 2, I don't think. And you say peaked early. There's horses in Europe and make good 2-year-olds all the time and don't train on at 3. It's not that uncommon over here. It does happen. But it might have happened with this one. Tonight's race will tell us a lot more about this horse without any shadow of a doubt. And it's an interesting horse. The next one, Guns and Graces, that's one out of 3 races. It was second in a Group 2 last time out, the Devona Dale Stakes. I think that's round here as well, Santa Anita. on the most recent start. Oh no, it's at Santa Anita, that race. I think this is at Keeneland, this race, isn't it? I did notice that the family was 5E. But again, I was looking for stuff on the pedigree. I always try and give fillies a bit more leeway, So if the dams won a Group 3 race, it got written down and trying to find them. But the dam of this one did win a Group 3 race. I didn't write down what it was called. But I couldn't find anything else than that. Nothing in history to indicate that this horse could win a classic of any kind, really, unfortunately. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to pass on this one. What about you, Monica? What do you think of this one?
Guns and Graces, obviously by Gun Runner. Candy Ride, is Gun Runner sire. I mean, it has 20 points already. It needs some points. The problem with this horse, it's just so lightly raced. It's only had 3 starts,
Yeah, and it's racing Group 1 winners.
Yeah. So I just don't know quite what to think about this horse. It needs to step up and do something. But I'm not sold on that Guns and Graces. It's morning lines 8-1. It's earned 70,800. I'm not sold on this horse, really. I'm not saying it can't win.
I'd love to be able to sit here and say to you, it could be improver because it's related to this horse and it's related to this horse that's won classics. It's just not. There's nothing in the pedigree that suggests to me that it could improve on being a Group 2 placed horse, which is a cracking run, really, in the terms of horse racing. But like you say, there's others here that have had 6 or 7 runs, a lot more battle-hardened, Breeders' Cup winners. She's going to have to be a good filly to get involved here, I think. The next one, wow, what have we got here? What a horse this could be. Julia Shining, lovely horse. This one is, Monica. I don't know what you make of this one. What do you make of it first? I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Number 4 is Julia Shining. She's by Curlin, out of Dreaming of Julia. I looked at the Brisnet past performances, and they give Julia Shining a prime power number of 134.9. I believe they gave Wonder Wheel like 140 on their prime power number. Since she's out of Dreaming of Julia, the Stone Street Broodmare band, I don't really have to look up that horse because they always have quality broodmares. Quality.
Yeah, and you're a fan of theirs as well.
They're winners.
I've noticed that you follow them on
stakes winners.
I've noticed that you follow them on social media and that. You're familiar with the colours, the old multicoloured V. Got V's, different colours, and I don't know which ones. They run races at Royal Ascot all the time. Wesley Ward brings a couple over. But yeah, you like this one, yeah? You've heard of this one as well, yeah? Yeah.
It's don't really have any speed information on this one. It already has 16 points. It's earned over 204,000. It's gonna have blinkers. It's had some bullet work, so it's working out well. This could be a potential win here. I kind of like this horse. I like the breeding. Louis Saez is going to be on this horse. Pletcher, Todd Pletcher's the trainer. So
I'm so glad you told me
I've got a little star by this. I got a little star by Julia Shining. What do you think about this one?
Well-bred horse, Monica, without any shadow of a doubt. It's a very nice filly. Again, though, it got off to a good start at 2. It won a Group 2 at 2 on its last start. But again, first start at 3 in a listed race, it gets turned over. She gets beat. Which we have to be consistent. If it worried us about Wonder Wheel, how can it not worry us about this one? But I actually do like the pedigree of this one from family 1N. And if you'd have gone back 7 dams on this horse, you'd have found Gay Matilda. Gay Matilda was the 5th dam of the first horse we looked at, Pride of the Nile, with from the same broodmare band, didn't she? Stoner Street. This one is
Yes.
it's on the same line. This one, Gay Matilda, it's the same, the 7th dam. So this one here, I think, is a hell of a lot better than that one though, because if you look at the dam of this one, what was the dam called again? Monica Julia something or other.
Dreaming of Julia.
Dreaming of Julia yesterday was voted the 2022 Kentucky Broodmare of the Year. And that is why. That is because she was the dam of Malathat that won the Kentucky Oaks last year. So that's the sort of class we're dealing with here. So that Dreaming of Julia in the same year had the Kentucky Oaks winner and this filly winning Group 2s at 2. So she was the other day voted the Kentucky Broodmare of the Year. So we're in business with this one, I think, hopefully. Malathat was a Group 1, the dam. Malathat won. She was the 2021 champion 3-year-old filly. And she won this race as well. She won the Ashlands as well, Malathat did. And she also won the Kentucky Oaks. So hopefully we'll have a nice little history will repeat itself here and we can all put our feet up. And the 2022 champion older dirt female. And she trained on as well from 3 to 4. So this is a lovely filly. The dam herself was a Group 1 winner at 2 and a Group 2 winner at 3. And she was 4th in the 2013 Kentucky Oaks. This is classic pedigree all day long. Exactly the sort of horse I'm looking for in these sort of races, And like I said, the 2022 Broodmare of the Year. There's another half sister as well, a Group 3 winner called Dream Pauline. She's not really produced much yet though. And there's a dual stakes win. There's actually a male at stud as well called Atrides, Atriedes. Lightly raced. It only raced 4 times. It only won 2 stakes races. But it has sired 3 stakes winners in America. I think it was available at something like $2,500. The second dam is a dual Group 1, dual Group 2 and a Group 3 winner. Superb breeding. And the 4th dam was placed in 3 French listed races. And then the 7th dam is Gay Matilda, so that links us back to a bit of stamina as well with the 1965 horse Provoke that we found earlier. Not the strongest dam line on one end. There is others that are better than this. But yeah, it looks nice. Stoner Street have done well with this little section. And I'm hoping that this one can win this race and win the Kentucky Oaks just like her older sister, really. Full sister Curlin was the sire of Malathat as well. So hopefully it will be full systems go. The next one, Punch Bowl, it has to be an interesting candidate as well, Monica, I think. A very interesting horse, this one.
Yeah.
2 out of 2, unbeaten. You can tell we're getting to Group 1 fillies now. We're getting some nice pedigrees. And that's exactly what we expect at this level. This one here, though, they've chucked it right into the deep end, didn't they? It's never raced in a pattern race. So they've obviously worked the horse. They obviously believe in that this horse is a Group 1 filly. Are they right? We'll find out in just under 3 hours. Fantastic. I can't wait to see if we do. The dam is a Group 3 winner as well. And it's from a family AF. The pedigree of it is quite interesting. I don't know if you remember in the last show we did, I talked about one that was quite closely related to Birdstone and Birdtown. I can't remember which horse it was. I'll be lying if I said I could. But I said something like, they're quite a way away, though. It's not as far, not as close as I would like. Well, this one here is very closely related to them 2 horses. It's on the same dam line, the exact same dam line, Punch Bowl as both of them. You don't even have to deviate off it. Just have to keep going back far enough. Birdstone. I was looked at that one. That might be a horse you've met, Monica. So he sired 2 classic winners in his first crop. Sired 20. That takes some doing, doesn't it? 24. Mind the Bird was 1. Mind That Bird was 1, and Summer Bird was the other, I think. 24 stakes winners overall, but he was actually pensioned to Old Friends Farm in 2020. So I don't know if you've actually met him or not. I know.
I haven't had a chance. That's another one. I haven't had a chance. I haven't been. I didn't go there in 2020
because of
or
COVID and
since,
things like
but
that.
it's time to make another trip down.
Yeah, he'll be
to
there, the
old
old boy,
friends.
unless he said he was actually pensioned off there in 2020.
Okay.
Birdtown, she actually did win the 2003 Kentucky Oaks. You know, they're very closely related to them two horses, Punch Bowl. You know, so classic form is there. And further back, you've got that other one, Blue Larkspur. And if you go back to a horse called Honey Deer, foaled in 1958, you can keep going as far back until you see Honey Deer, and then you're getting into territory where you have to just go forward to another 2 or 3 dams, and you're at Birdstone territory then. So we're not far off really. I mean, what do you make of this one, Monica?
It's owned by Gary and Mary West.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what made
the
me
same owners that we had spoken.
Exactly. They're shrewd. They are. They like a pedigree. Are they good judges of
They
horses?
like a pedigree.
If they're good judges of horses and they know this is a Group 1 filly and it wins tonight, they are geniuses. Yeah, it must have a chance, this horse, mustn't it?
I think they do. I think Gary and Mary West do fairly well on the horses they've had, and already went to stud and that. I think they do a pretty good business. I think they're pretty smart horse owners, because they've come up with a lot of quality race horses. This one's at 2-1. This one does not have any Derby points I could find, just because the two races
never raced in a stakes race.
No pattern race here, so it wouldn't have any. The prime power.
They know if they win this, they're in.
Win and you're in, exactly.
Just like her older sister last year, won the same 2 races, or not 2 years ago actually. It's some horses. It just looks too obvious, doesn't it? If it wins, everyone. If it wins, everyone in America would go, "Well, how did we not pick that?"
Right.
It's one of them that looks too good to be true.
Right. So this could win too. This could win.
Yeah, it's a good race. Got a few interesting ones.
But this one's lightly raced, so it's kind of hard to. We have to rely on other methods like the pedigree, because we can't.
I'm doing things like
we can't see anything in the form.
Predicting the potential of horses rather than it being there in front of you. This one is quite closely related to some horses that have proved to be very good. So it's the sort of horse really that people have to sort of look at it until it proves it isn't very good. It'd be interesting to see which way it goes tonight. The next one, Monica, I'll let you go first on this one. Defining Purpose. Have you got any views on that one?
It shows its power. Its prime power numbers 130.3. Defining Purpose. Trainers Kenny McPeak and the jockeys Brian Hernandez Jr. It shows the morning line for this one's 15-1. You could get a price out of this one. It has 7 Derby points. As far as pace, it's an early horse in the pace. It's early runner, so it could be up front straight away. It's by Cross Traffic. Cross Traffic is by Unbridled Song. And this one's out of Defining Hope by Strong Hope. I'm not familiar at all with Strong Hope, the Granshire at all. Never heard of that horse. What did you find out about the family line on this one here? Anything?
It took a while. I had to send out 4 expedition parties to find this one. It was a long way away. The form of it, 2 out of 6. What a listed race on its final 2-year-old start. I did notice that. but then they put it in a Group 3 on its last start in the Honeybee Stakes, and it was well beaten there. So against horses with proven Group 1 form in here, like Wonder Wheel, it's up against it, I think, this one, on form. It's from Family 4R, and I had to go back to a Belmont winner of 1924 called Mad Play.
Okay.
And the 1957 Kentucky Oaks winner, Laurie L. Laurie/EL. I mean, I couldn't find a lot on this one, Monica. I mean, I'll pass. I mean, the bar was, when I was looking at this race, the bar was going higher and higher. I thought I'd found the winner anyway with, what's it called? The first one, Julia Shine. And then I thought, well, Punch Bowl could be half decent as well. And I thought anything else now out of these last two has got to be good to get involved with these two and Wonder Wheel. But I did look at them. I couldn't find anything really defining purpose. Effortlessly Elegant. What about that one, Monica? What do you make of that one? The last horse of the race.
It's by Liam's Map.
It is.
And out of County Clare by Uncle Mo. County Clare was a non-runner. It just won the last race it ran. It won. It was in the Honeybee. Wet Paint won that race. That's number one on the points for Oaks points. And it's had 4 starts, 3 first and 1 second, 0 thirds. It's trainer's Norm Cassie, which is Mark Cassie's son. The jockey is Ricardo Santana. I couldn't really find much in the dam line.
No.
It's going off at 20-1.
Yeah.
I'm not enthused about that one at all.
Quite hard to be, really, isn't it? I mean, like you said, it was well beaten on its only pattern race start. The Dam is a half sister to a horse that could have been decent. It was quite an unlucky horse. It's got a sad story about it, this horse. It's a dual, exactly. It's a dual Group 3 winner. It had won 5 out of its 8 races, 5 out of 7, 8 races, 2 Group 3s on the trot. And then they decided to up it up in class in the Reprieve Stakes at Santa Anita in 2008, where sadly she suffered a fractured sesamoid during the race. And she was actually, must have been in a lot of pain for nearly a year, for over a year, because she was actually euthanized then due to complications of her injuries a year later. Very sad.
Wow.
Yeah, that was about the best horse I could find on the line, really, in the first 3 or 4 dams. But it is from the family of Seabiscuit. People go back far enough. Family number.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Family number 5J. This one is a very rare one. I don't think I've ever looked at it. One day, I've always said it to myself, I'll go through them all and sort of look at them all. But there's so many, and there's so many things to do. Racing's so all year round. There ain't much time to do anything else apart from look at races. But yeah, this one here, pedigree 5J, is the dam line of Seabiscuit.
Wow.
And I think something like the 8th dam of this horse is the 3rd dam of Seabiscuit. Something like that.
All right.
Yeah, so if you go
that was worth a dig.
It's hard to say though, because
that was worth digging for.
Yeah, but this horse is foaled in 2020, and Seabiscuit was foaled in the 50s, so it's quite. You'd have been worried if the 3rd dam was the same horse of both horses, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So, but yeah.
Spring miss.
I think this one really. What I did notice about this pedigree line is there was a lot of the horses similar to the ones that you talked about in the other one, where you noticed a dam that had won something like that raced something like 49 times. I mean, there was horses in there that had done that had raced a lot of times. They'd all run something like 500,000, but they'd raced 100 times. So I couldn't really get a handle on them in the 50s and 60s, in between Seabiscuit and here. But yeah, I couldn't really find much apart from that one horse, Indiana, that was going round in 2007. But yeah, I think I'll have to pass on this one as well, Monica, I think. Right, we've done this race now. That was the last runner of the race. Monica, can I just take this opportunity to say thank you very much for finding the time to preview the Ashlands Stakes for us. It is very much appreciated.
Well, let me just say thank you for having me on I always enjoy it. We always have some good crack about these horses. So thank you for having me.
No problem. And Monica and myself will be back by the miracles of science right after this segment with our selections for the race, the Ashlands Stakes. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching and supporting the channel. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Right, we're going to get off air now quickly because this race is 2 hours away and our content's on for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. You know, so it's going to be pretty tight this time, unfortunately. But right, we're going to be back with the selections now for the Ashlands Stakes. We will just make sure that Monica is there all the way from Sherman, Illinois. Monica, are you there? Yes, you are. Fantastic.
I'm here.
Right, Monica, Group 1 Ashlands Stakes, Group 1 Fillies Action, Key Kentucky Oaks Trial. What's the verdict? What wins this race, Monica?
I'm going with number 4, Julia Shining.
Yeah. I think that's a
I'm going to
sensible
beat
option.
the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've both got similar
But we will
profiles.
see.
They've both got similar profiles. They both lost their first listed race at 3. You know, people always used to say to me, never back a horse on its first run. Horses are never any good on their first run. I must have backed millions of horses got beat on their first run in my life. You know, it's one thing I don't like horses losing first time out. Puts me right off them. But I do think with the pedigree, this one, it's just a shame that they felt the need to run it in that listed race and get beat rather than go to here first start. They obviously felt she needed the work, Julia Shining, or they've not lost the faith. She's got beat in a listed race and they're still trying to emulate the Holder sister Malathat. So, yeah, that'll be my selection as well in what looks a very tricky race. There's only seven runners as well, so people looking for an each way bet are going to struggle here, I think, to finish in the first 2 because you've got a Group 1 winner, Wonder Wheel, that's trading at a price of around 3 to 1. You've got another horse, something like Punch Bowl, that's trading about the same. You know, for an outsider to get in the first 2 here, it's going to have to be decent. And I don't necessarily think, you know, Punch Bowl, Wonder Wheel, and our selection. I'm going to select Julie Shining as well. Yeah, that'd probably be one, Frankie's horse. But I think
You're right.
I think if Pride of the Nile beats the one related to Malathat, I think Stoner Street would be sick. I don't know if they still own both horses. You know, imagine if they've sold that one or they've not kept it. The Stoner Street one, the Pride of the Nile, and it beats the one they have kept. Oh, they'd be furious. You know, the beauty of horse breeding, you know, someone will get the sack if that happens. Someone will get the sack. Because they don't chuck away Group 1 winning fillies. These breeding operations, if they can help it, do they? Right, we're going to leave it there because that's our selection for the race. Julia Shining. Monica, can I just quickly say thank you very much. We hope to be back, health permitting of both of us and internet connections permitting, for the Kentucky Derby. There's in about a month's time when they'll have also crowned a new King of England. But hopefully I'll be back from after that and I'll be able to take my crown off and look at the Kentucky Derby. Right, we'll leave it there, Monica. Thank you very much for joining us, Monica.
Thank you as always. Thank you.
Okay, take care, everybody, and thank you for supporting the channel.